It appears to me that we have our hands in the monkey trap. The monkey trap is a gourd, or a cage, or a disco ball apparently, though I'd never thought of it that way before, with a hole in it that is just large enough that a monkey can reach its hand in if it squeezes its fingers together. But if there's a piece of fruit in there, the monkey grabs the piece of fruit and it can't pull its hand out while it's hanging onto the fruit. As it turns out, the monkey won't let go. It sounds ridiculous. You catch a monkey so easily. We're monkeys. We have our hands in the monkey trap. The monkey trap is the low-hanging fruit of industrial civilization. It's the lights that come on when we flip a switch. It's the water that comes through the taps when we turn on the water. It's the gas at the service station when we drive up every single time. It's the food at the grocery store every single time. We can't let go. We have our hands in the monkey trap. Philosopher and writer Albert Camus said, this is a guy who won the Nobel Prize in 1957, the only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. And almost everybody I talk to in this country thinks that we are free. Big energy poisons our water. Big pharma continues to poison the water, therefore controlling our behavior. Big ag controls the food supply. Big banks control the flow of money. Big ad controls the messages we receive by the thousands every day. Through it all, most Americans believe we are free. Really? Try to secure your own water supply. See how the government deals with that. It won't be favorable. Florida is the most recent state to take draconian action against people that want to live outside the system. Less than a month ago, making it illegal to live off the grid. Repeat after me. We're number one. The only way to deal with an unfree world, and I would argue that we are in one, is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. This is a signpost for me. I pursue freedom. Almost nobody likes it. I'd like to finish with some really good news. So here's some really, really good news. You get to die. DNA assures our incredibly unique status. The odds against any one of us being here, based on our understanding of DNA, exceed the odds against plucking a single atom at random from the entire universe. You're a miracle. The odds of any one of us being here far exceed the odds of winning the lottery every week for a year. And yet here we are. As evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins points out, in the teeth of these stupefying odds, it is you and I that are privileged to be here, privileged with eyes to see where we are and brains to wonder why. More good news, there's no blame. It's clear that we've triggered runaway climate change. It's clear that we are driving to extinction several hundred species every week, and that at some point the species becomes us. The vanishing point draws nearer every day. It's clear that we can't live with a thriving, living planet, and we're killing everything. But it's not your fault. We were all born into captivity. We were born into this set of living arrangements. We take great pity on animals that are born into captivity and never, ever manage to get out into the wild. Oh wait, that's us. In the last few thousand years, there have been essentially 0 human beings who have managed to get out into the wild. We are born into captivity. Most people can't see the bars. As Goethe said some 200 years ago, none are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe they are free. So here we are. We've triggered the kind of temperature rise that is exhibited in this wheelchair that has replaced the hockey stick of Michael Mann and colleagues. We're a funny species. Lest you despair, and apparently some people do when I give the good news that they get to live and therefore die, I take into account the words of Edward Abbey, the iconoclastic writer from Tucson, Arizona from many years ago. Action is the antidote to despair. Even if it's too late to turn this ship around, especially if it's too late to turn this ship around, what better judge of our character than what we throw into the abyss when the abyss draws near? Anybody can cheer for the favorites, and most of us do. How about not only cheering for the underdogs, but becoming the underdogs? Taking those actions that might sustain and increase the joy of other people and non-human organisms at this most fascinating time in human history.